I am so excited to be here. This has
Oh
been
my God, how excited are you?
just a little bit, but I've been wanting to do this for a long time now, wouldn't you say? I've been talking about this, but so many things have held me back, mostly my own brain, but here we are. New me, it's happening.
Those dang cages,
There's
they're always self-inflicted.
so much we want to do and say. So, Lauren, we met and then I quit my job like a month later and I left poor little Lauren all alone.
Abandoned. Abandoned to see ya. The word is abandoned.
Yeah, okay, but really, I don't know.
No explanation yet. You recruited me, and then you up and vanished.
I would like to think of it as not vanishing, but more, I guess, evolved. I was evolving.
Oh, you evolved. Well, you evolved yourself right out of the building. That's what you did.
Oh, God. And welcome to the Unhinged Hygienists.
Woo! Where dental hygiene meets everything else.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I'm happy we're here. I'm happy this is our fourth try to make this work.
Fourth try. Literally, it's
Podcasting
been
is
like a month. Every weekend. The first time we literally filmed 3 hours worth. And
then
all I
couldn't find
heard
it.
was one of us. There was no, yeah. But all right, everyone. Welcome to the Unhinged Hygienist. And yes, the name is super intentional
Very, very intentional.
because hygienists were typically expected to be so very polished
And calm, no matter what.
and so very contained inside our little, operatory.
Very much, we kind of don't say anything controversial while you're scraping off that hard tartar off those teeth.
Exactly. But the truth is, the more we've learned in this profession, the more we've realized that dentistry is not small. It's literally connected to everything.
Including the gut.
And as you know, the airway
And don't forget sleep.
and inflammation, which is the root cause of all illness and chronic
You know a little bit about that, don't you?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Did you know it's connected to the nervous system too?
That's very interesting because it's not something that most people would put together.
That's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm. But once you see all of this, you really can't unsee it. So this podcast is basically what happens when two hygienists stop staying inside the box.
And then what do? We kick it wide open.
That's right. So let's start a little bit with who we are, because I think we both have very different but very interesting stories, but also kind of similar, I guess, in some ways. So my name is.
Yeah. We like interweave very
we
perfectly.
We do. Yeah. So my name technically is Anastasia Dallas. But you can call me Tasia, like nice to see ya.
That's always the best description. I love
Ask
that
me
one.
how many times I have said that in my life.
A few.
Well, 26 years to be exact. 26 years I have been doing dental hygiene, which feels aggressive to say out loud because it does not feel that long. It really doesn't.
Aggressive's not the word. That's veteran. That's seasoned.
Seasoned. I really like that. Yeah, that's really it. But I practiced in multiple states. I'll name some. Let's start. I practiced in Canada first. I graduated in Canada. So I practiced in Toronto, Windsor, New York City, Ohio, Michigan, and Las Vegas.
Woo, all right.
Kind of been a little bit all over the place, which I love because I feel like you learn a little bit from every place, like every office. I feel like when you're stuck in one office for your whole career, if the dentist isn't evolving, you get stuck there.
You don't know any better.
Yeah. And
people definitely stay in the box that they're taught. So,
And I was almost kind of in that box. I knew a little bit more, but I didn't know to the extent, right?
mm,
And then it all changed. It was, I believe, 2024. I went to the Integrative Dental Medicine Scholar Society conference, which was in Florida. And the people I connected with, the things that I learned literally changed the way that I practice, the way that I see everything. Like there was like
mm.
a very hard line between before and after.
I believe that because you came back from that conference different, just different.
I drank all that Kool-Aid and then some.
You're swimming in it.
I did. I was swimming because I started understanding the oral systemic connection on a much deeper level because it's not just gums and teeth.
Mm-hmm.
It's the microbiome, it's inflammation, gut health, the immune system. There is so much that encompasses everything. It's all of it. And I became like literally obsessed. And you know that. And I've had my own journey too. So that kind of
Mm-hmm.
intertwines with everything, but like gut health, bacterial
Mm-hmm.
pathogens, saliva testing, antimicrobial protocols, what works, what doesn't. Because when you understand pathogenic bacteria,
Mm-hmm.
what works and what doesn't, then it's like, well, I'm not going to recommend things that I don't feel are going to be beneficial.
The
There's
things that we
nutrition.
now know better. Yeah. I mean, we're supposed to know better, do better, learn, and
Exactly.
there's people who don't.
And nutrition. Nutrition, I feel like people forget that your gut starts in your mouth. Mind blowing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's true.
Or they forget that what they eat actually has a difference of how they fuel their body. Like we don't put
Exactly.
diesel in a gas car. Why do we
No.
think we can eat poorly and we're going to run well?
But then if your oral microbiome is off, how are you properly digesting your,
Mm,
breaking down proteins and everything
mm.
else? You're not.
Or if you have a highly diseased oral mouth, and all that stuff that's in there, you're just going to swallow all that disease. How is that going to help your guts and your digestion?
Leaky gums, leaky
Mm,
gut.
precisely.
And then again, that systemic inflammation, because if we're not looking at the mouth, because we see a lot of things first in the mouth, like if we're not
Hmm.
looking at that, we're missing the entire story.
If we're only looking at that, I mean, I think hygienists were just taught to only care about the little white things sticking out of the gums. And if we only look at the mouth, we've missed the whole rest of the body that's connected to the person and the mouth. And
And I
that's where
feel,
we go back to what you were talking about.
yeah, and I feel too, it's like but it's like we are in this little box where it's like if we even some patients you take blood pressure and they get mad. Why are you taking
Hmm.
my blood pressure? We are
Hmm.
healthcare providers
Hmm.
and we need
I
to
think
start.
that's something we're going to really focus on in this podcast is kind of reinvigorating that and
Mhm.
helping other hygienists remember we're not just tooth scrapers. We are healthcare hygienists. We take
And
the same prerequisites as nurses.
we do. It's true. And there's just so much more that we can do to help our patients, I feel like.
Mm.
So we just
Hmm.
want to literally just fuel that fire,
That's right.
you know?
Just start it. Just and let people know that it's possible. I think that maybe people don't realize that these options to learn about all the systemic stuff is actually available to us, as if it's not in our scope of practice or something.
Because really, we are the only healthcare providers that spend as much time with patients.
Yeah.
Who
Well,
else
I
spends
think
an
if you think
hour?
about it, exactly. Nobody. Your nurse doesn't, your doctors don't. We
No.
spend more time individually speaking with, connecting with, reviewing the medical history, seeing the signs and symptoms, literally touching the person, as opposed to like, oh, is everything all right? Cool, I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not just that this podcast is going to be for healthcare providers, but it's also going to be for regular people who are we going to
Mhm.
teach to advocate for their own health, their own
Yeah,
wellness.
because they'll look for somebody who is like us. And I think that that's what a lot of people like. We start talking to our normal non hygiene friends, and they're like, you're the weirdest hygienist we've ever
Mhm.
seen. And that makes me sad for them because they're being neglected by their healthcare hygienists who don't realize that's what they're able to do.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And now we're going to talk about you, Lauren.
Me? What about me? Hi.
Oh,
Hi.
so
Hey,
much
I'm Lauren.
good
I'm the
stuff
other
about
voice.
Lauren.
Hey.
Lauren is also a hygienist, obviously, but her
Yep.
path is a little definitely unhinged.
That's fair. That's fair.
Lauren, she's licensed in 3 different states. And she's even
Mhm.
practiced internationally. He lived
Whoa.
in Germany.
See, you got Canada, I got Germany. We kind of cover the globe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm licensed in Illinois, Florida, and Nevada. And, I think practicing and traveling internationally is what we're supposed to do because we're supposed to learn and grow.
Mm,
What?
it's
Hmm.
amazing. Yeah.
But,
Everyone should learn and grow. I feel like
mm,
I've really found my purpose and I'm
hmm
excited.
hmm
But the thing that really defines you, Lauren, is that you really went deep into the airway health and myofunctional therapy.
Yeah, I really did. I am considering myself the airway nerd of the Unhinged Hygienist podcast. But my story sort of started in a personal way. And I'll give you the quick version. Back in 2017, when my dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's and my best friend was diagnosed with breast cancer, I really started seeing healthcare and hygiene and inflammation and all this stuff just in a completely different light. Um, Suddenly I was watching two of the people I loved most deal with super serious health issues, and something clicked. Like when you went to your scholar society and it just clicked,
Mhm.
and suddenly you're like, I have to look at everything differently. And all the things that we learn in hygiene school, our prereqs, our nursing stuff, it's all about inflammation and systemic health, but then it's separated, and then we're taught to just stay siloed in the mouth. But I was seeing that connection in real life. And it wasn't just in my dental chair, it wasn't in a book, it wasn't a study session, it was in my family and my loved ones. And it absolutely changed the way I looked at everything. And then I went down a rabbit hole of asking, what does drive disease? What role does inflammation play? How can breathing and sleep and the oral cavity affect all of this? And this is literally what led me into airway health and myofunctional therapy, which is basically retraining the muscles of the face, the lips, and the tongue so that the body and all the stuff below the mouth actually function properly.
And you've really taught me a lot, because you don't realize all those tiny little muscles
Mm.
affect way more than people think. Like way
It's
more.
true. It's way more. And you think your tongue, your fascia, everything that's connected, the way it starts your digestive system, it affects breathing, it affects sleep, it affects posture, the nervous system. It's literally all connected.
It's crazy. The body is pretty amazing.
It's an incredible machine. And
Yeah.
I feel really lucky that we get to be as excited about it as we are.
And the
Yeah.
fact that we've been practicing as long as we have,
Mhm.
and the excitement level just gets more and more.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, to be 20 plus years and not be burning out for both of
Mhm.
us is really it takes work though. And you can see how our brothers and sisters out there are really struggling
Yeah.
sometimes because if you're just in a chat and polish situation or you don't have providers who support your enthusiasm for looking at whole body health,
Yeah,
it's quite frustrating,
it is.
which
Because
I
again,
imagine we're going to talk about on another episode.
oh, it's going to get unhinged.
Oh, Sookie, that was a nice tie-in. Good
Yeah,
job.
right. I do my best.
You're good.
But
Uh-huh.
the way we met was actually pretty awesome, actually. It was very, very weird, very
I
different
don't know
in
if it
how
was
we
weird. Different. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
different.
I don't think it was
Not
weird.
weird,
I think it
different.
was a genuinely Tasia and Lauren, Tata and Lala kind of way to meet,
And Lala, that's us. You know, it's not just J Lo and all the other ones. We have
Hmm.
ones too.
That's it.
Tata, Lala, Lala, Tata. Call us what you will.
Yeah, that's us.
So let's set the scene.
Okay, come with me. The year is 2020, and I, Lauren, am living in Munich, Germany. And COVID has hit, the entire world is shutting down, and I realize, well, I have to move back to the US, but I had very specific criteria.
And if you know Lauren, you'd realize that, of course, she did.
Particular. What I said was I was not moving back to the cold because I spent 18 winters in Chicago. That was enough. No Chicago. Emotionally, physically, spiritually. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, you were done being cold, and then
God.
here I
God.
am. That's a whole other
Stuck in
episode.
Michigan.
Cecilia
You
leaving
moved,
Vegas for Michigan, but that's
weirdo.
a whole other story. I froze to this winter, literally.
It's
My
true.
soul froze, but my mind grew.
See, so maybe you stayed in the basement and got your brain warm.
Yeah,
That's it. That's
I
how
know.
you kept your
Yeah.
kept yourself going.
But yeah, you were done being cold for sure. And I
I
get that.
was. I was. The cold and then really one other non-negotiable. So, um, kind of how I wound up in Vegas was that I was looking for the EMS airflow GBT guided biofilm therapy system. And it was formed, well, I learned about it in Germany. It's a Swiss German technology. And I fell in love. And the way that I was able to actually help my patients, excuse me, holistically and completely was unbelievable. And I knew I couldn't go back to just polishing and not working with this system. So that was literally how I found Las Vegas, was only by looking for the GBT airflow.
It's amazing. It's an amazing machine. I've been using that since it came out in the US 2015. And I remember when we first got it in New York, I legit hated it for the first little while. And it's not the airflow. I love the airflow. It was just the transition between the
Yeah.
Cavitron, the piezo,
Yeah.
then like
I think
something
that's how
clicked.
most people feel.
And
Yeah.
it's like now it's like we can't live without that machine.
No. And that's what I try to tell people that we want to talk to other hygienists or anyone else. As a hygienist, it put years back on my life
Mhm.
because that polishing cup and the vibration and the way we have to hold it really stresses all of that. And we know repetitive work injuries. I don't want to have my hands die and not be able to use them. So, physically, for me, it
Mhm.
became something I couldn't work without. And then clinically, it became something I couldn't work without because working in an implant perio office and really seeing how I was able to clean implants, crowns, bridges, restorations, cosmetics appropriately for the
Mhm.
first time ever was really life changing for me because I finally knew I was doing better. So I had to keep that up.
Yeah, totally.
Hmm.
Because even like disclosing, like if you're not disclosing,
Yeah.
we are
How do you know?
missing so much. And you don't
Yeah.
realize that because that blue, when you do use a tri-gel, like it's a sticky plat.
Mhm. It's wonderful. And to be able to then do the thing that we love because disclosing and then disclosing the age of it is really important because of course everyone walks in and they're like, ah, I had coffee and a bagel on the way. I'm like, no, this bagel's from 3 days ago and I can prove it by this right here. So we learn how to do it in school, but then we get into the real world and we have to drop it. And I think that's one of the basic tools that we should all incorporate.
Yeah.
Even if you can't get an airflow or a ProfiJet or any of these other airflow systems, having disclosing agent back in your
Mhm.
life would
Yeah.
make a big difference.
So I think it's
So
pretty, safe to say that you're very loyal to your equipment.
I am. I am pretty loyal and somehow that very, very specific search led me to you in Las Vegas. Hmm.
What a beautiful, beautiful moment in time. And this is
Aw.
where I come in.
Which is where you come in. Ah, to see ya. You were working at the office. You were working at the office that I found via all these Google searches that actually had the GBT equipment in a warm state, in a place that accepted my licensure, and a place that had what I wanted. And you were there. So you became my point of contact, my international pen pal BFF. And, I'm basically interviewing you like, bro, am I going to survive? Is Vegas full of normal people? What exactly am I walking into? Can you help me?
Hmm. Those are all valid questions because you are moving internationally. It's a big move,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. Well, I think the best part about it was within one conversation, we were
And I
just
remember
clicked.
that. I still
Yeah.
remember that. With Zoom.
It's funny. It's like we realized we were the same person. We're the same age. We have the same musical love. We have the same weirdo humor, which is why this
Mhm.
podcast is going to be amazing.
Oh, it's so
So,
good. It's gonna be great.
yeah.
I'm so excited. Yeah, we instantly connected. And I
Hmm.
was so excited for you to come because it does make a difference when you work with another hygienist who's in alignment with
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
It's just nice to have someone to like bounce ideas off of, grow together, go to
Yeah.
conferences together, just learn and grow and be the
Yeah.
best that we can be for our patients because that's what we're there for.
Well,
Well,
to
I
feel
hope
supported
I hope that's what
and to
we're
know
there
that we're
for.
not alone.
Yeah.
Like, we can't think that we're the only people who go is the mouth connected to the rest of the body? And you work with people who go, what are you talking about? No, it's nice to have somebody like you. And, it was fun because the beginning of my day was the end of your day. And so we would talk and it was like, oh, what happened? What patients did you see? And we got to really clinically connect. And then also just this friendship grew.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
it was
became
good.
long distance best friends before even meeting.
Totes, totes. I know, but then there's a twist to the story. Okay.
Dun, dun,
So I moved
dun.
to Vegas in January of 2021 and I started working at this awesome new office that had my awesome new best friend in it. New city, new life, new BFF, everything's happening. And then what happened, Tasia?
Hmm, something happened. Something.
1 month later,
I did this thing. I quit.
she
Did
quit.
I
She
did.
quit. She left me. She abandoned me and she left me alone in a fury of ripping stuff off of the wall and storming out in dramatic, beautiful Greek goddess style. I knew my best friend was there. Totally.
That whole situation could be discussed in a whole other podcast.
We're just teasing you guys who are listening. Like, what happened? How could there be drama in the dental office?
But yeah,
Mm.
maybe I did do that.
I don't know. Maybe it was just my recollection. I was just
No,
the
no,
sadness in my heart as you
I
left
did.
me and abandoned me in this
Things.
office. Hmm.
Yeah, but you were fine.
Now, that's debatable. You knew what you were leaving. Debatable.
You were thriving in there with your GBT.
It rhymes with that. It's more like surviving. There's a difference. Yeah.
I like to think of it as I brought you to Vegas, closer to me, and then released you into the wild.
Into the wild. You dropped me off like a foster situation. Shit.
But that's character development, no?
I have trust issues, and you really did not help those. Yeah.
But look at us now, growing. But honestly, even though I left the office, we stayed friends, clearly.
Yeah, totally. Very, very much. Because, you helped me get acclimated to Vegas, the dental scene, the friendship, everything. You were my lifeline.
Because it literally was one of those friendships where you just know. You know.
Immediately.
Aw.
BFFs for E.
And that's why I think this podcast really works. Well,
Mm-hmm.
there's so much of why it works and it's gonna work. Because we come at health from two different angles. I'm focused on gut health, microbiome, inflammation, immunity, just all of that. I just love all of that.
I mean, and that's good stuff to love because, you have that, and I'm focused on airway, sleep, breathing, oral function, kind of the other end of it.
But guess what?
What?
All of that somehow it connects.
What? It's connected. No. You crazy whole-hearted, what? Whole something hygienist of healthcare. You're weird.
Yeah, that's
Nothing's
that's me.
connected.
Yeah, but
We're
that's
Lego
how we
people.
met. A
That's
global
true.
pandemic, a very specific dental machine that you're not just loyal to, but I'm very loyal to.
That's
So
good.
there is ways you can find that. What is that? Switch to gbt.com.
Switch to gbt.com, and then you can find certified providers in
Yeah.
your area.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, a questionable career decision on my part. And, you know,
Highly, highly questionable, but still worked out.
it
Yes.
did,
Yeah.
because here we are. And I'm so excited. So
That's
excited.
it. I think this is going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun to sort of uncover and release ourselves from this box we have been hinged in. We're here to just help people get as excited about being a hygienist again as we are. And there's just a lot to it. So being unhinged, being unkept in a box, unfiltered. I really look forward to the journey of people listening to us and going, how did we get from here to here? And
Oh,
what? Because it's the same as our patients every day. Like, what does that have to do with my mouth? Thank you for asking. Let me explain. That's
yeah.
what we're going to do on this podcast.
We are in the front lines, really.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, in actuality and in real life front lines, we're here because the mouth is so telling. We have the privilege of being the provider that people see the most. I think that we should and are responsible for maintaining the fact that we are healthcare providers and we're not just tooth scrapers. It's not some, thing that can be on the job trained because it doesn't have an actual like connection to the rest of your body. So
Oh,
we'll
that's
talk
a
about
whole
that on
other.
another episode too.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
actually read quite
we'll
the
get there.
comment today, and I just had to I had to walk away. I had to
Mm.
walk away. I said to Sia, because I'm pretty unfiltered, but sometimes
Unfiltered and
it's
unhinged.
really hard sometimes for me to just shut my
Zip
mouth.
it.
Yeah,
Mm.
like
Yep.
it takes a lot out of me, but
Sometimes I feel like we have to stick an instrument in our own mouth
yeah,
sometimes and just be
yeah,
like, psh, psh. Yeah.
stop it. Just stop. Less is more sometimes.
Is
Less
that
is
our
more.
clue to wrap up this first introductory episode?
So exciting. I am
Yeah,
so happy we're here. I'm
me
so
too.
happy that you are all here. Please share
Thanks
with
for
your
joining
friends,
us.
family,
Yeah,
patients,
yeah,
share
yeah,
with everyone. But thank you so
yeah.
much for listening to the Unhinged Hygienists.
And don't forget, this is where dental hygiene is going to meet literally everything else.
So we will see you next time. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.